In this video, I'm going to give you a real estate market update, including a couple of strategies that you absolutely need to know about if you have plans to buy or sell this year. Next, I'm going to talk about tax protests and what you can do right now to prepare. I'm going to tell you about some crucial dates coming up. And then I'm going to tell you about the tax assessor-collector election and the absolute worst candidate on the ballot. A little bit of inside scoop and some backstory on that. And finally, I have a huge favor to ask. I want to pay it forward. I want to thank the people that are supporting us, and I want to be able to help more people, and I need your help doing that. It won't cost you a single penny. It's going to be a great way to help us pay it forward and thank the folks that are making all this possible. Let's get right into it. So what does this mean for house prices, and how should this affect your real estate related plans, whether you're planning to buy or sell this next year? Let me show you this chart. It's the same thing. I just cut it off so I could draw on it. Here we go. Every January, house prices are down. You can see that every January there's a dip. Even in these crazy years where it was skyrocketing, this year in 2022, it went up significantly, went up about 14%, and then it dropped about 11%, and then we hit a new low. Well, right now we are at that low point, and you're going to see that house prices are going to take off again. We know that the thing that caused this dip were interest rates skyrocketing. And then last year we had a bit of a recovery. We kind of rebounded and it's tapered off. This is more of the seasonal change that we saw back here in 2019. This is going to be largely a repeated pattern from 2019 because that's the last, quote, normal year that we saw. So what's going to happen from this point? House prices are going to go up. Are they going to go up like 22% that we saw here in the 21 to 22 range? Nope. They're going to go up probably somewhere around 4%, somewhere in that ballpark. It could be as low as 2%, as high as 6%. Call it a ballpark of 4% increase. And so right now is an opportunity for you to buy low, but then you might be thinking, well, what about interest rates? What are they going to do? Guess what? They're probably going to drop a little bit. So if you wanted to buy low and sell high and go to get an interest rate, there are two different ways you can do that. Number one is to purchase your house now and then refinance once rates go down. You can't purchase a house in the past and go in the past and buy low. But what you can do is you can purchase your house now, lock in your purchase price, and then when interest rates dip, you can refinance at that point. That way you're getting the best of both worlds. The other thing that you can do is you can purchase a house now at the lower house price level, and then assume a mortgage. This is something that a lot of real estate companies don't have a clue of how to do. Nobody's doing a lot of them, but we are one of the few that have taken the time to really dive into this subject and do what we can to educate ourselves on how to guide a buyer through the assumption process. Something like, I think it was 2/3 of all home buyers or all homeowners have an interest rate less than 5%. It's some outstanding number. So right now we're in this climate of mid to high sixes. If you can buy a house that has a 4% or 3% interest rate, and then house prices go up, you're really getting the best of both worlds. If you have interest in doing that, contact our office. We can help walk you through it. The other thing that you can do is tap into a real estate market that nobody else is seeing, and that's another thing we can help with. We've got so many contacts here in Tarrant County. What we've started to do is just identify people that aren't quite ready to put their house on the market, but would absolutely entertain an offer. And we're looking for buyers that have a little bit of flexibility in the terms that they're willing to accept, and maybe can offer a cash offer or buy as is or allow the seller extra time to move out. It's a way that we can really negotiate a win-win deal so that the buyer gets the flexibility they want without having to show the house to 3,000 people or maybe even without fixing it up. And then the buyers get access to inventory they wouldn't have seen otherwise. But anyway, that's what's going to happen in the housing market. Really, by and large, the thing that I want to reiterate time and time again is the best time to buy or sell a house is when it is right for you. It's a highly personal decision. If you're going through a job transfer, you've got a death in the family, you're getting married, you're having babies, whatever life change you might find yourself a part of, that should dominate more than anything else. Life is short. We can't take the money with us. We need to do what we can to make the best decisions for our family so that we're taking care of our own. And let's talk about how this is going to affect property taxes. So how is all this going to affect your property taxes? Well, let me give you a little bit of background first. The appraisal district is going to send out value notices in April, sometime after April 15th. If you've been a client of ours in the past, they're more than likely going to send that value notice to us, and then we're going to email it to you. I would love for them to send it to you. They just won't do it. So it's a comptroller thing. It's out of their hands, and so it's not something that I want, but I will deliver that to you. They're going to get it to me around April 15th. Be expecting an email by the end of April. And that value that's on that notice is to show you what your house was worth back on January 1st, according to the appraisal district. So every single year, they are trying to come up with what they thought the value was January 1st. As we've already mentioned, every January, there's a dip in home prices. So in April, they're looking to see what the home value was on January 1st. They did the same thing last year. And here's the problem. In a year like last year, you had home values increase 14%, fall 11%, and the appraisal district looks at the entire previous 12 months to gather their data as justification on what your house is worth on January 1st. It's not fair at all. It's one of the many flaws in the property tax system. These home sales shouldn't be used to compare as evidence to justify the value of a property here, but that's what they're doing. This year, the same exact thing is going to happen. It's not quite as extreme, but they're going to use all of these home values to determine what they think that value of the house is this year, or at January 1st. And so just like last year, it's very important to protest. We're going to protest for you. If you signed up in the past, no need to sign up again. We'll take care of you. I also think one other thing that's going to come into play is last year we had this extreme market swing and the chief appraiser was fighting for his job. And I think he was trying to make people happy. I think that if you didn't have a track record of protesting, he may have valued the house a little higher. That's just my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but that's anecdotally what I've seen. Then if you did go in and protest, they were very, very friendly. And they allowed us to, or they were willing to agree to a much lower negotiated price. So we were able to get the values down quite a bit. This year, we've got a brand new chief appraiser. He's going to have to clean up the mess of the old chief appraiser. And so there's a good chance that values are going to come in pretty high again. And then we're going to have to protest that value down. And he's probably not going to be quite as friendly this year. They've got a lot of the same staff. And a lot of that staff is they're really good. And they are friendly. But I just think that the leadership there is going to be a little bit more by the book because, like I said, the last year, the chief appraiser was fighting for his job. So can't file any protest until value notices come out. We will email that to you. We will file a protest for you. If we've done it in the past, you will. So just be looking for an email that we're going to send out at the latter part of April. If you want to know what you can do in the meantime, you can go get contractor estimates for repair issues in your house and stick to the major stuff: foundation, roof, plumbing, electrical, that sort of thing. And you can assemble those receipts, those invoices, get them ready. Whenever we start to allow protest signups, we'll have a way for you to upload that into our system. We'll take a look at it. If it helps your case, then we absolutely use it. We'll use anything we can to get your value lower. And so that is how it's going to affect your property taxes. The Tax Assessor-Collector Election is happening right now. Please take time out of your schedule to go vote. I want to tell you why this election is so important to me. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to vote and why I'm asking for you to please show up and cast your ballot. The election started February 20th. That's when early voting started. It's going to last through March 1st, and then election day is March 5th. But please do not act like you have time. Please go ahead and do this. Cast your vote. Here's why it's so important. Let me give you a little bit of background. So the appraisal district is the one that determines your property value. The tax entities, being school districts, city councils, those are the ones that set the tax rate. So what does the tax assessor even do? All they do is they take the information that all those other guys come up with and they put it on a sheet of paper and they mail it to you. That's it. Then when you make your payment, they take the money and they hand it to those guys. That's what happens. So the tax assessor is just a middleman. They don't get to really implement any ideological slant to anything that they're doing. It's an administrative role. And I have a feeling that that mail would get sent out regardless of who's in that office. The staff deserves all the credit for the tax statements going out on time. The tax assessor is just a figurehead so that if something goes wrong, we can wring their neck. But more than anything, the tax assessor is there so that we can have taxation with representation. Probably is an adage you've heard before. Well, as I've gone through all of the crazy stuff I've gone through, it's been really difficult to find somebody that's willing to be held accountable. When the appraisal district attacks me and is filing false complaints and false accusations, and I'm having to defend myself right and left, they're trying to prevent me from helping you for free. They did everything they could to prevent me from helping you. And I went down to the appraisal district at every single board meeting, asking for help, asking for justice, asking for somebody to do the right thing. There were a couple people that did, but the only person that was elected by the people sitting on that board was Wendy Burgess. Now, she didn't even have a vote. She couldn't control anything. The only thing that she had the power to do was to be the voice of the taxpayer. But at every turn, she defended the appraisal district. She defended the chief appraiser. And she was on the wrong side of every issue. And so that is the number one thing in my mind that the tax assessor must do. They must represent the interests of the taxpayers. I'm not going to place my vote based on how timely the mail went out. That's going to happen regardless. The one thing that did not happen is that she did not represent the interests of the taxpayers. That's what I represent. Since we don't have that representative, I'm the guy that's standing in the gap. And I would vote for anybody in this election whose name is not Wendy Burgess for that fact alone. We could probably forgive somebody if they made an error, but we can't forgive somebody who's pledging allegiance to the wrong flag. In this situation, that flag is we the people. So she's got to go. We've got to get somebody new in. And I believe that we would head in the right direction. There are a lot of good things happening at the appraisal district. We got it. Virtually every position of leadership at the appraisal district is being led by a new person. The chief appraiser's new, the head of residential and commercial, and the head administrator, just the head of technology, just about the head of everything they've now left the building under one circumstance or another. The only person that's still left is Wendy Burgess. And by the way, she's going to become a voting member in July. So we've got to make sure that we're getting the right votes of people standing up for us. Please go vote for anybody but Wendy Burgess. Before I say bye, I need to thank you, and I want to ask for help. We could not offer what we're doing here without our clients and the people that have donated, and I want to thank them the right way. I want to thank them not just with words. I want people to be able to see where the money that they've donated and the revenue that's been generated from the real estate transaction, where it's gone to. I want to make it real for people. I want them to hear your story, how it's impacted you, and I want to be able to thank them properly. And so if you are willing to share your story, it would mean the world to me. I just feel a debt of gratitude, and I want to thank people. And I get to hear these stories because we get on the phone and we talk to people, but the people that have donated and made this possible so that we can offer this service for free, they have not received a proper thank you. And I want to be able to provide that so that when somebody donates, they get to see how we leverage that money into reinvesting back in our local community to help so many people. It's overwhelming. It's been a huge blessing to me, and I want to be able to bless other people so that they can see what their money has gone to. So if you are willing to share your story, please just reply to this email. Let me know. I will make it very, very easy. We'll do a short interview. You won't have to lift a finger if you don't want to, and it would just mean the world to me. So please just reply to this email if you're willing to have a short interview, and so I can help people see who they've helped and what their money's gone to, and so that people can see the stories and how this has made an impact. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate all of your support. I'm going to keep going as long as I can to continually help people reinvest in our community because we depend on one another. We can't depend on anybody else. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.